I like your shirt.
Power to the people. We are back.
They're gonna skirt your 5-point star tattoo off your head in hell every day.
Keep it clean.
Yeah,
that's all you want to do. All right, man. Look,
if you're a right-wing girl dad, but really wanted a boy, you should support the T's. You might still have a chance.
Was there no wisdom? was there no wisdom passed along? It's what I'm saying.
And every time you see me, I keep it clean like a coaster.
power to the people. We are back to do maintenance. You are tuned in to the latest episode of the Keep It Clean podcast. This is episode number 35. I'm your host, Nico. I'm joined with the cleaning crew today. We got the good brother Ray in the building. What's going on, man?
Man, I appreciate all y'all fans and supporters getting close to we. You right here in the spot that you supposed to be. We got mops, brooms, and rags for you to keep it clean. And you know it's me, Ray's in the building. I appreciate y'all, man.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We got the good brother Ev in the building. What's going on, man?
What's going down? What's going down? I ain't got no flows today. Shout out to Ray for bringing that. Shout out to him.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, you gotta keep it hip hop.
One of these days, hold on. Hold on. We've been letting Ev get away with this, man. Because remember when we did the fives, we did the freestyle on top. Ev owe us at least like a 16 by now.
You owe us an 8. You owe us at least an 8. You need
I'm
like
getting interest.
bars.
16. I'm calling for interest, dog. It's been 2 quarters. It's been 2 financial business quarters.
two bars an episode. We
know
gonna
what
get
I'm
you on
saying?
No AI. I got you.
Yeah, no AI.
Ooh.
No AI. No Timbo. You feel me? We got
Tim
the
just blocked
speaking
you on
of
Twitter.
speaking of hip hop, we got the good brother Bodega from the East Side in the building. What's going on, brother?
Look, good evening to my fellow Americans. Okay. It's your host with the most. And we here today. We here. We got a lot of shit to talk about today.
Yes.
A lot of shit to talk about.
Yes, we do.
First and foremost, can we start off with, before we get started, man? Hey, you survived some allegations, Bodega. How do you feel? You know, you finally got shot at in the comments. This is your first time, bro. Like, how's it feel, bro? Welcome to the team for real, man. You was ducking and dodging bullets.
Being shot at by a white ghost is crazy. You know what I'm saying? Like, let's like being shot at by a white ghost. You know what I'm saying? A nigga who can tell me about hip hop and business. Yeah, all right, bitch ass nigga.
Yeah, I'm gonna be so honest with y'all. White folks, it's a tough crowd in them comments when it come to us. It's very rare you gonna get a reply. It depends on what the context is and depend on what you're talking about. But majority of the time, we ain't talking to y'all. So we won't be listening when you talk. No, that's what I'm saying. We're not talking to y'all.
No, hold on. What I'm saying for all folks, including us, if your first comment references protein, seek help.
I'm gonna we putting you on a protein watch. We're gonna start putting you on a protein watch. This is your second episode within the first 5 minutes mentioning protein.
I'm eating, brother.
Nah, I'm watching you, nigga. So before we get to it, quick housekeeping, as always. Like, comment, and subscribe if you are on the YouTube with us and you are enjoying what we do. We appreciate everybody that is tapping in. We are seeing a growth of comments. You know what I'm saying? People starting to comment more. Shout out to y'all. Appreciate y'all. So yes, like, comment, subscribe. If you are on DSPs, add us to your library so you can be updated every time we drop an episode. And if you are looking for us on Instagram or TikTok, at the Keep It Clean Show. Again, that's at the THE Keep It Clean Show. At the Keep It Clean Show. Episodes drop every Tuesday. My brothers, let's keep it a buck, keep it a bean, and keep it clean. Solos, who want to go first?
I'm gonna go first because mine ain't super serious, but it is serious. It just came up off the top of the head. This is for my Gemini brother. I took up for you last week, but you just made me regret it. Kanye West.
Dang.
You came out today apologizing for your anti-Semitic comments. I'm cool with that. It's always great for growth, understanding the problems. The thing that I hoped for why you did this is what you exactly did. You didn't even let the apology marinate for a good 12 hours before you announced you have a show upcoming.
Mm-hmm.
You got a show in Mexico in January. Brother, you just shitted all over your own apology because now we know why you did it. You did it to be in the good graces to get a check. That's not clean, bro. So I just want to say, like, what we doing here? I took up for you. I take it all back now. Jay-Z 20-0.
And the crazy shit is the Mexicans would have fucked with him regardless.
They was gonna rock with him for regardless.
They would have fucked with him regardless.
Regardless, bro.
It's only the US that really lets our politics get into the music and how we feel. Like everybody else is like, hey nigga, come here. So we can
Mexico was ready to treat you like Bad Bunny or something when you got to letting the hits off. But you like,
yeah.
And then this is another thing too. You let DJ Academics be the person to put it out.
Nasty.
Yeah, man.
A ROM activity,
because
man.
this is why he stays alive and relevant, because y'all keep letting him live, man. It was a nasty concoction of buffoonery with them two bros. Like that's not a sight we should be seeing in 2025 in our hip hop, atmosphere, ecosystem. None of that.
Yeah, bro.
I hope buffoonery is hilarious.
I hope Hov played the Grammy family freestyle 20 times in a row in your head. Fuck you. I'm done.
For sure. Speaking of fuck yous, somebody I took up for a few episodes ago, Jon Stewart. And it's not fuck you. It's not fuck you. Let me be clean. Let me keep it clean. Let me be clear. But Jon Stewart was doing an interview, I think, with the New Yorker, I think last week. And he brought up, he said somebody was saying, how can you platform certain people? How could you platform somebody with these types of views? And he was saying, I have people in my family that are to the right of Attila the Hun, which is crazy, first of all.
That's nuts. That's nuts.
Nuts. But he goes on to say, and I platform my uncle every single Thanksgiving. John, you're smarter than this. We all know you're smarter than this. You're not platforming your uncle, brother. You're having a conversation with him at the dinner table. It's not the Daily Show. It's just not. Secondly,
it's the Thanksgiving show.
Type shit. Like, come on, bro. But he goes on to say, basically, like, he's my uncle and he's a human being and he has qualities that I admire. And we got to get into this place of like getting back to being able to love people because we're doing this litmus test at every single step. And that's just not the way. Check this out. To the people that's, that have qualities that I admire. If y'all have Attila the Hun tendencies, I'm not going to admire y'all as much. I'm going to just be honest with y'all. You feel me? Like, that's just how that's going to go. You can be whoever you want to be. Once your politic stops being humane, your admiration needs to come off of that pedestal, and we need to treat it as such. So, John, stop doing this white liberal shit. Stop doing this. Oh, but like if everybody just like really love everybody, we could just no. Some of these people are denying people's humanity. They don't need space at all. And that's all I got. Right? What's up?
Man, you know me. When I be traveling, I be in the red rose, white ceiling. No, I'm playing. When it come, that
was good.
If we stick to that idea, I was traveling a little bit. Now I was just thinking of some things of like travel tips, right? The person that discovered this place, quote unquote, wasn't Christian and created some issues that we all deal with today because it's going to be the tone of the episode of what we're dealing with, right? The person or people that opposed the Federal Reserve also traveled and didn't make it back. This is going into the idea of just like, prepare yourself when you maneuver around. Might have to hide your identity and be somebody different because what you can do can shake the ecosystem. The person that created a lot of issues you deal with today also wasn't Muslim either. He wasn't Christian. He wasn't Muslim. The person that came by here was a refugee himself. He was on the run by definition, if you want to go down that route. So if you look up who really discovered the place that y'all walk around on a regular basis and do a little bit of research, just prepare for your types of travels. There was a boat that went down in the waters that had a few people that said, we want to protect your gold and a couple of other things, but they just oddly enough didn't come back. Jay-Z throws up the rock. Rockefeller, y'all. Back in no, Bodega, you go ahead and go, man. I'm just tone setting. You go ahead and go.
You're not about to give us a history lesson, brother. You know what I'm saying? Like I was all ears personally, you know.
Oh, okay,
you know,
okay, cool.
I know
keep
our
going.
I was about to say, I know our group likes to skip over the more serious shit.
The person that they said discovered America was also eventually covered up in the history books that most of you and I read. And the name wasn't the original name. Now, I know the name that y'all are thinking, but that wasn't his original name. And that also wasn't his, original belief system. And we saw the trickle down effect of every time you have a history marker thinking that you are in control and this might have been quote unquote your country. But if you pull up the history books that y'all read, especially textbooks, let's be specific to textbooks in primary school, and then you realize the name change that happened there for the co-founder of whoever used those particular textbooks. One's a Hill, the other one is like, Quick Draw. I think the last name McGraw, something like that, allegedly. And then you see who their kin is, specifically their offspring, and see how that all just kind of ties back together. But, I'm just rambling on a tangent. If you follow what I'm saying, I can hit me on the side. Hit me on the side, bro.
I'm gonna stop you right there. You've said enough. This nigga is. They're gonna string some shit together. Anyway, Bodega, the floor is yours, my brother.
All right, so the theme today must be white people, and I want y'all to know we didn't plan the keep it clean segments, but I have two particular, right? They tie directly into one another. So one of the younger music homies was telling me about this beef between Caribou and Giorgiani. Come to find out, Giorgiani is a tomb-faced white woman from Ohio. No, I got that wrong. She's from Indiana. I'm sorry. Indiana. Sorry, the Midwest is all the same to me, but like, shaped like a tombstone, you know what I'm saying? And so like I was really confused because then I went on TikTok and seen all of these very challenging facial black men hyping up Giorgiani, and I was like, that's crazy, right? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, listen, I wouldn't be able to recognize the white girl personally from a lineup, let alone by her raps. But you nignogs are on TikTok hyping up this white woman who is not only white, right? Not only white but ugly. I gotta make that point, right? Like it's not even like she has any visually identifiable features to activate the coon chip in you niggas' brains. She just white and ugly and can't rap. But y'all on here hyping her up. I was confused, bro. I was confused.
Real quick, let me help you with your confusion real quick, because I've seen this. You got to do the science, right? First off, with them type dudes, the whiteness is the coon chip. That's one, right? That's one. They see white, they get the cooning, they get the tap dancing and fetching and sketching, they get crazy. And then when they ugly, it just get activated times 10. It's like, oh nah, excuse me, my dark chocolate queen Nubian sister, could you tap that white woman for me? That's all it is. That's really all it is. Shout out to
that milk of magnesia.
That milk of magnesia. It's something about it. And just real quick, you niggas is gonna be the death of us. All right, you niggas are going to be the death of us. The fact that we've let interracial dating is cool, Do your thing. Love is love. All of that's great. Nobody tripping on that. But the fact that you nignogs, as Bodega said, have made it a stereotype that y'all will go get the ugliest of the white women and brag on them with the greatest of confidence. Y'all are the weakest links, and y'all are gonna be the death of us.
Listen, you know those niggas can't go get they can't go get white women who are even somewhat attractive because
it's okay, Bodega. You can clear out. Watch it. It's me here. Hey, some of y'all hype these women that they're talking about up because you never had pull in the first place. But the craziest part about you is y'all be the loudest ones on social media bragging like you just have this infinite bag of just pulling them until they pull your card and say, what do they look like? And all of a sudden you disappear, going back to the conservative conventions that y'all all came from and tied belts around yourselves. And I know where you live, right? I know most of who y'all are, right? Because when y'all turned your backs and became the coons that y'all went, like y'all had the coon chip activated, but then you upgraded to system 2.0. Most of y'all moms DM me. I know who you are. There's about a good 9-10 of y'all that are somewhere within the range. And, you know, I found out from them, they didn't raise y'all like that. And we are going to start calling you out. I just want you to know that this is from me. This is from me.
telling a nigga,
You a
your mom's DM me.
right?
It's not.
The fuck? You the bounty hunter for cooners?
He took I know what you did last summer to a whole
I know
different
what you
level.
did
man.
last summer.
I know.
my nigga.
I know who you
Hey,
did
man.
last summer. The fuck?
Hey,
Crazy.
What is he on?
Hey. Your mothers
Right.
aren't satisfied.
Mm,
And that's the, you know,
Mm.
we're gonna keep that
Mm.
there. Your mothers are not satisfied.
Go ahead.
Mm.
Your mothers are
Nah,
not
we-
satisfied.
No, we good because we got a
Keep
lot
going,
to get
Nick.
to today.
No.
We got a lot.
We do.
We
You
got a
do.
lot
You're
to
right.
get to today. So let's,
You're right.
you know what I'm saying? Solos, we good.
How the day after you had to leave Spain in 1492, somebody just so happened to hit the water streets and ended up over here a couple months later. That's so crazy how coincidences work. Same thing with elections, though. You know, go on. I'm sorry.
That's a fact. So we gonna get started. Business as usual. Business first. The government is still shut
Facts.
down.
to this
Government is still
day.
shut down.
Unfortunately, a fact.
Findhelp.org. It is in all of our descriptions. It is on the page. We did a walkthrough, findhelp.org. If you are looking for assistance on food, housing, transportation, and the like, type in your zip code. You can find that there. With that, though, Donald Trump, the commander and thief man, swindler, liar, that was just asleep at a press conference he was threatening to not pay out SNAP benefits for the month of November. He was saying, until the government opens up, we're not paying y'all. That's per Huffington Post. That's not an exact quote, but per Huffington Post, he was like, nah, I'm not paying that. And Ev let me know that the course has something different to say. So what happened there, my boy?
Yeah, so a federal judge in Rhode Island, he ordered the administration on Thursday. This recording is on Thursday. That go find the money. You don't know where it's at, nigga. Go find it. That's what they said. They told him go find the money and to pay these people, give these people SNAP benefits. The administration of court, they have promptly, of course, they've appealed it, of course, as rightfully they would. So I'm gonna just say we getting traction. We getting some traction on this, you know, because last week, the weeks before, it was all horror about these SNAP benefits. So we're in the moment now where any news is good news, sort of, because like for me, I know in our area out here in the Midwest, like on Facebook, we're hearing people saying that they did receive some partial funding. They were not happy with that partial funding because what the hell you gonna do with fucking $30 for a family? But you know, some partial fundings are happening, so this is a step in the right direction. But again, as Nick mentioned, findhelp.org, use that to the best of your ability because times are getting harder. Lean on each other, like I keep saying. Keep it going. Back to you, Nick.
Also, I just want everybody to know that's like, in the audience, they have money set aside for this exact situation. Like, hey, it's like a relief valve. They have that. He's choosing not to use it. And then telling us that it's the Democrats' fault that families are going hungry. So I just want to keep that in context as well. But did you have anything for this before we get to the next piece?
Yeah, there's a knock-on effect to this that is like not really being discussed, but I want y'all to be very present of it, because what else is happening is so there is another fund that's set aside by the Federal Reserve, and this fund is specifically for banks, right? Hasn't really been touched by 2020 since 2021, and it's very much an emergency fund, right? And that emergency fund has finally been touched by the banks to the tune of $500 billion. Now, what does that mean? Okay, what does that mean? What that means is that the banks aren't getting paid, right? There's car notes missing, there's credit card payments missing, there is the money that they loan out. The whole reason how banks make money is they generate money by effectively creating money through loans. None of those loans are getting paid back, which means that the banks are getting paid. So, like, with a government shutdown, with people on government assistance not getting those benefits, and then the government sector and federal employees not getting paid, but also a lot of them being furloughed, there's a lot of economic risk here. There's a ton of economic risk involved with a continued government shutdown. But I need y'all to understand, especially the people who are not skin folk or kinfolk, that whatever you think is against the immigrants, whatever you think is against the blacks, right? Because that's how y'all like to refer to us, right? Like, you know what I'm saying, the blacks, because you really want to say, you know what I'm saying, the N-word, but you can't, so you say the blacks because you want to appear politically correct. Yes, to a degree, but no, niggas just don't like pores, bro. And newsflash, regardless of the benefit of capitalism and where you think you rank on the totem pole, if you are not a multi-millionaire, you are one of the poorest. I want you to know that you are one of the poorest. If you are not making at least 300K annually with stocks and investments that directly feed this super rich class, you are a poor. It's you. It's you. And they are against you. They dress it up as racism. They dress it up as political differences. They dress it up as everything like that. No, they need you subjugated so that you can produce more money. And I need you just okay enough to have a grasp, you know what I'm saying, buy your little luxury item or whatever the case, or whatever. I need you just healthy enough so that you can die being sick. That's it. I need you here for about 60 years. I need you until you get to about retirement age, and then you can get the fuck up out of here.
Yeah. I will add just really quick for y'all, just to be clear on some type of update, because we haven't mentioned it, bro. The planes are shutting down. They are shutting down flights. By the time y'all hear this, we will be going into an interesting weekend of what that might actually look like. But they are shutting down flights, and they're shutting down flights at major airports, the main ones. They do have a game plan. This is what it's looking like. The Senate Republicans are supposed to be meeting this Friday. So for y'all, this would have been 4 days prior. They're trying to figure out a way to get certain Democrats to flip. Hopefully the more moderate ones swing over to that side. This isn't being painted for most of you that are watching as if it's being caused by that party. It's not really even so much for whatever your political affiliations are, but they're going to flip it to you as if the Democrats are the one dragging their feet. But this shutdown is something that we've highlighted in numerous weeks, well within the other side's control. within the Republican conservative control specifically, don't necessarily buy into who is to blame, quote unquote, from what they tell you. Please read and please educate yourself a little bit on what is happening, because on the other side, we did have an amazing turnout from this past week for national turnouts for voting across the board. And it's probably because you're feeling some of the effects of this. So there's supposed to be a meeting Friday. Over the weekend, I might clip this specifically, but over the weekend, pay attention to what the results of that meeting is this upcoming Friday.
Yeah, just to follow up with the meeting, why that's important. The Department of Transportation government shutdown update has let us know that they are looking into shutting down area spaces across the United States, not all of them, certain ones, in order to deal with the fact that due to the shutdown, a lot of air traffic controllers are not coming into work because they are not getting paid. And they don't have enough people there to navigate the air traffic and control it. So these are the effects of this shutdown that is happening, and that, again, like Ray said, is well within the Republicans' control. The same people that are telling you that they can't do anything to stop it, and it's all on the other side. Just be aware of those type of games that are being played when we're going into holiday season, which is some of the most travel ever in this country takes place around this time. And there's literally not enough people to handle the amount of traffic that's going to be taking place because the administration in office doesn't want y'all to have healthcare premiums that are not astronomical. On top of that, real quick, just last part, it is also benefit season. We are going into enrollment time. Everybody is putting in their enrollment plans, and we are seeing now that due to the effects of the big beautiful bill, we called it the big bitch ass bill, people's premiums are going up, in some cases 4 times what they were paying prior. These are the effects in real time that are happening due to this shutdown, due to this administration, and due to what they have told us that they're trying to do. This is everything that comes with it. Higher healthcare costs, less air traffic control, less ability to travel. And for the immigrant side and even the citizen side, possible detainment for no reason whatsoever because we just feel like it today and you look like it. This is where we are at the moment. So we're going to keep y'all updated as things keep coming through. Yeah, that's where we are with the government shutdown. Go ahead.
And I just want to say something because you mentioned the big beautiful bill. So we finna go there. We are 11 months into this administration. Only 11 months. Not even a full 11 months because it was the middle of January when he was actually in. And we've seen this country, it was already in a shitter, but it's down the drain for real. And we're on the brink of a point of no return to a certain extent. We're gonna talk later about some of the things that happened where it's the bright spots of our future. But we are in a time of peril because of an administration. Again, it's Ev saying this. This is the time now. Like, I'm not even here to shit on the people that voted for that man because y'all have now seen what y'all have caused. This is the time. This is the time where you need to look inward and pour outward in again, kindness, because guess what? It's not going to get any better from here. We're seeing, because the ramifications that are going to happen from these events are going to be life altering. Like not just moment altering, life altering. So
I want to say it's not going to get no better from here if nobody takes action right now. I do want to say that. Like,
that goes for both sides. That does go
both
for both
sides.
sides.
Yeah, no, of course. I'm just saying with
that's
that,
why
like,
I mentioned the bright spots.
Right. Yeah, exactly. I just want to make sure we're not doomed.
Yeah.
We're not doomed.
No, I'm not gonna do it,
right?
and I ain't gonna doom. That's what I'm saying. I want us to understand the impending doom that we
urgency.
do have. Exactly. That's
Yeah,
all.
for sure.
Because we've been talking to them for weeks. So walk like a duck, quack like a duck, talk like a duck.
Yeah, for sure. So speaking of the president, Nicki Minaj has come out in the last week and let us know that she supports the president and their administration, what they're doing right now, specifically for the Christian community. Donald Trump came out within the last week and tweeted or truth socialed, because he's not allowed on Twitter. Christianity is facing an existential threat in Nigeria. Thousands of Christians are being killed. Radical Islamists are responsible for this mass slaughter. I'm hereby making Nigeria a country of particular concern, but that's the least of it. When Christians or any group is slaughtered like this, in Nigeria, something must be done. I'm asking Congressman Riley Moore, together with Chairman blah, 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 to immediately look into this matter and report back to me. United States cannot stand by such atrocities that are happening in Nigeria, yada, yada. Donald Trump.
Now, before you even go further, because I mean, the Nicki Minaj piece is important, right? Like, we definitely about to get some jokes off, but like, I need y'all to be very, very fucking clear about this, because the same exact thing is happening in Sudan. There is no Christian warfare going on in Nigeria or Sudan. There is no eradication of Christians going on in Sudan or Nigeria. I need you to be very specifically clear about that, because what is actually happening is the other part of the slave trade that you know nothing about. And this is the part of the slave trade that modern day Muslims do not speak about, right? We point towards Christians, we point towards Europe, we point towards Americans, for the African slave trade that affected the West. Nobody talks about the slave trade that the Arabs directly participated in, strategically pulling from West and North Africa and spreading the influence of Islam across those countries. We don't speak about that part. And as a Muslim, that's a very like disheartening conversation, right? But what is happening in Nigeria specifically is the extraction of resources from Nigeria specifically to the Middle East, and gold, oil, the usual suspects. And the West, along with the more power players in the Middle East, are funding this extraction through other Nigerians that are on the ground. So it's a all Nigerian conflict, but one is fighting against the extraction of their resources, and the other is being funded by the extractors to eradicate, to then pull more of those resources, and it's being framed as rebels against Christians. Because that's what y'all like to drum up, right? Like, if we had put it on the table and said like this extraction is happening by Muslims, nobody would give a fuck, right? Nobody would give a fuck. But the thing about Islam and Christianity, especially here in the United States, when niggas talk, they do all that fear mongering with Muslims, but your favorite politicians and the people that you voted for are in bed with capitalist Muslims in the Middle East to control that region and to extract resources from that region, right? Niggas will fearmonger you on the news and then immediately go shake hands with, Aki and them to extract resources against, go shake hands with the Browns to extract resources from the blacks. Like, don't be fooled. Don't be fooled. And Nicki Minaj, you don't even make enough money to support Trump. Like, that's like the funny, like the funny shit is, like, as a musician, you don't even make enough fucking money. You don't stream enough to have the resources to support Trump. What the fuck are you talking about? You niggas in Queens are fucking weird. You Queens niggas is fucking weird, bro. You niggas is fucking weird.
Real quick, I just wanted to read the tweet before we get into it. So Nicki Minaj saw the tweet from Donald Trump and said, "Reading this made me feel a deep sense of gratitude We live in a country where we can freely worship God. No group should ever be persecuted for practicing their religion. We don't have to share the same beliefs in order for us to respect each other. Numerous countries all around the world are being affected by this horror, and it's dangerous to pretend we don't notice. Thank you to the president and his team for taking this seriously. God bless every persecuted Christian. Let's remember to lift them up in prayer. Now, as Bodega just pointed out, there's a lot of fear mongering that takes place in this country when it comes to Islam. I'm just gonna keep it clean. Fuck out of here to Dick Cheney. Speaking of,
we haven't even gotten there yet.
We gotta thread the needle, baby. We gotta, you know what I'm saying? Because
we haven't even gotten there yet.
It ties in perfectly. A lot like Dick Cheney specifically, and the last 2 wars that this country was involved in for the last 2 decades of my life was due to fear mongering from Christians about Islam and what their plans are and what to do, all under the guise of we're trying to protect us from evil. Meanwhile, we're over there extracting their natural resources for our own benefit and gain. Nicki Minaj, I don't know if you're smart enough to realize that. I don't know if you've done enough research to realize that. But you took the time out of your day to praise this administration that has been detrimental, harmful, in some cases physically, to a good portion of your fan base. And she caught the backlash. She's been catching backlash for this, right? So her fan base is popping out and shooting back. A lot of them are, saying like, I'm unfollowing. This is my last stop on the Nicki Minaj train. Specifically, one last tweet, and then we can get into it. One of her fans tweeted, "Nicki, as a diehard fan who genuinely sticks beside you through everything, every single scandal, you copying this, you cozying up to this fucking loser." That would be her husband, who is a predator, registered sex offender. I might actually have to tap out. We live in a country that wants to weaponize religion so your gay fans can be pushed into a corner and silenced. And Nicki responded to that by saying, "Imagine hearing that Christians are being murdered and making it about you being gay." She said a lot more here. She was saying, "I'll advocate for you the same way I advocate for these murdered Christians in Nigeria, like I always have. Just remember that diligently, compassionately, remember that part too, and you're not a diehard fan."
I'll go. Okay. I'll go first. Last name Cologne, first name Cristobal, was a non-Muslim, non-Christian by registry. Speaking of registry, how are you going to tell us about Christianity when Christianity is about protecting the kids, and certain people can't be around baby registries. Certain people can't be around school registries. Certain people that you associate with don't even get to see the little yellow sign where it says "slow down, children at play." You can't even be around that, but you're going to tell somebody about whatever Christianity that we know you don't read the book is protecting. The funniest part, though, is for the other side. This is where y'all drew the line. Forget that they can't be around the registry. This is where y'all lost y'all's fandom with her. So the kids wasn't cool enough to say, you know what, we good. You just bypass that particular piece and be like, damn, she hurt my feelings, and now I can't rock with it. We should have a block the bar party for everyone that came out and said that. It should be a block the bar party, and y'all too might need to be reported.
She hurt my feelings because I'm gay. Like, she married a child predator, my nigga, and not only did she marry a child predator,
Her
but like
brother.
her
is a
brother
child-
is also a child predator.
That you're trying to
Like-
get pardoned.
You like, man, you niggas got your brain scrambled.
That's what that's where, because it is twofold. I do find it very hilarious, not hilarious. It's detrimental and it's dangerous, honestly, for Nicki Minaj with the platform that she has to be praising this administration. It's ridiculous. But I can't help but laugh at the fact of all of these people popping out and being like, "Oh, that is the last straw." Like, her husband wasn't the last, because it's just certain things. Like when you come out, when we look at all of these people that we've grown to love throughout our lives, we've all had our moments. You dig what I'm saying? Kanye, when he first popped out saying slavery was a choice, I'm like, but buddy bipolar, he type crazy. We got to cut him some slack. At a certain point, I had to keep it clean with myself and be like, nah, bro, that's just what you want. And I can't rock with that. So it's just it's just funny to get to this point of child marrying predators, trying to get predators pardoned, all of the anti-woman activity of like the beefs and all of this, and now you're praising Donald Trump. It's just like, that's now finally where we're like, you know what? That's enough. That's hilarious.
And a part of that is like, she was just attacking y'all when she was going at Cardi B, literally. Like, she was attacking y'all in the midst of her going back at Cardi B, and y'all was keying.
And if we're gonna keep it super, super clean, so was Cardi.
Exactly.
Like, this is why we had to do the whole stop. Like, hey, let's not shoot at the LGBT community as a joke. That's not a good joke. That's not in good taste. We can't do that. Like, it's fun. Like, all the dissing, the hip hop, all that is fun. But my nigga cheap, but I don't put no dildos in it. So now we shame it.
But at the same time, that's where my frustration comes, though, because we're still looking at the piece that even during that particular conversation, you saw two predators for what she was involved in as well, with whatever Cardi was rapping about. So you see two of them doing all that. And again, what y'all are saying, this particular community was all he and ha, right? So when the nignogs were nog-nigging, it was funny until it happened to you. That's the part that we don't get. The kids, it used to be the kids were aligned. Like, that was a hard, firmed, we don't cross that line, period. I thought that was the universal. For no matter what walk of life, civilian, affiliated, men, women, it was supposed to be protect the children.
Yeah.
And I know that's a difficult thing to grasp, but now you mad at how long have y'all been a Barb and how long have y'all known about her marriage, and now you upset? I'm only gonna laugh about it just because it's you exposing more of you than anything else. And quite simply, to Bodega's point a couple weeks ago, for each time we've covered a celebrity, why the fuck did y'all care? Are you looking up to people your age? You gotta stop doing this, man. You gotta stop.
And at a certain point, like, we'll continue to drill this home, because I'll shoot y'all the bail of this piece. Like, the people you grew up with as your heroes, back to my Keep It Clean solo. In this episode, the people that you admire, look up to, for whatever reason, whenever you come across, that's cool. That's fine. They are not perfect people. And it is completely okay to get off that train. Take what you got from them, whatever you admire from them, whether it be work ethic, creativity, confidence, whatever you got from them. That's cool. That's fine. You can absolutely say they are a part of my development, and I don't rock with none of what they got going on today. It's completely okay. Take them off that pedestal and put yourself up there, because you deserve it. Get up there, do some work, brag on yourself, get some confidence up. Stop putting your life in these parasocial fucking relationships. Shit is weird. These niggas don't know y'all. These niggas don't know, and y'all don't know them. And that's why y'all get so upset, because y'all don't know these niggas. Facts.
But I think that's the other part too. She's been Republican this whole time. She was Republican with Mitt Romney. Like, what is the surprise here? I guess in this whole aspect. So she's been supporting the group that's been anti-you for when Obama was running. So it's been at least 10 plus.
Yeah.
At least 10 plus. So I guess that's where part of that conversation is like, what's the difference between this line and then the line she drew back then? Was it her albums were still good, or
wasn't paying attention back then?
She was
like, it's like, and at the same time,
Vegas stopped being in the studio, she fell off. That's essentially what happened. Like when he wasn't there to get her mind right and keep her focused.
Something like that. Something like that.
Trying to get her to stop eating that pork, but got a hold on her. So
she was probably using the same thing RFK used.
Hey, but real quick, one thing, even though this isn't, it never truly was separated. I truly miss when church and state had a little bit of separation. Because
where?
That's why I just said I know it never really was.
Must be talking
but check it out though, like
especially and maybe not having store for you.
No, just check it out because think about this. Like, and I honestly want to say it started with Donald Trump and then going into COVID, like in the last 10 years of this. Because think about it, and the reason I say that is because if that tweet that he has isn't talking about Christians, we don't get Nicki's outpour back. And that's what I'm saying is that like this very, very big, broad public thrusting of Christianity in politics, it has soared tremendously versus when we were younger. And that's what I mean is like I miss that. Maybe I just want
you miss coming from the we don't talk about politics, religion, sports, blah 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 in public.
It's and the reason, but taboo back in the day.
Back in the day,
church and state always been locked in, like
like church and state always been locked in. But
that's what I mean.
On a social level, it was like when you get in the social circle, it's like politics, religion, sports. You kind of keep that to yourself, type shit, because you might get into an argument. And now today, it's like you just jump out the gate, like, yeah, I'm a Christian nationalist. Like,
it's just, I just find that real, like, I ain't gonna say it's disturbing or nasty, because again, hey, freedom of speech, that's what niggas gonna use the way to get it off.
Let me know.
It's let me know, but it's like the way you niggas are letting us know is the most disgusting ways ever.
No, yeah, for sure. I'm also a proponent of that. I'm a proponent of that. Let me know in the obviously I'm not a proponent of the harm that's coming with that, right? But in the sense of overt stance, like, let's not play the game of the post-racial society Obama years where racism is over and we it's over, it's covert racism. Is we don't if you rock with that side, you a Christian nationalist, let me know. Let me know out the gate with your chest.
I was gonna say to Ev's point, I don't know if it wasn't necessarily spoke about. It's just most of the times you lived in regions where it was automatically assumed this is exactly what you are, right? Like this is the predominant religion, so you may not bring it up. So like, especially for, like, say for yourself, you in the Midwest, you in the Bible Belt, the assumption is there. So it wasn't really much to talk about on the religion piece. And, and it's been historically this voting result for so long. So two of the things that is the most common conversation today, it was just an assumption. So it wasn't even necessarily something but when somebody said something different, that's when it was like, whoa, how did you land here? And you can almost pin it down, like when you talk to old heads and whatnot, somebody moved in and it was a transplant, and whatever was the common there, they continued wherever they went, and that's when you started to see certain things. So then, I'm thinking, to your point, is like I feel like a lot of that wasn't talked about with the tertiary or the secondary piece. Economics then made it okay for you to stay where you were at. When economics started shifting, people started shifting, ideology started clashing.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Like where Bodega really from with the Philly homies up there, before they started coming down east, you know what I'm saying? Like we never saw them. So you just assume this is what it was. But in that particular demographic, same thing with being in the South with, you know, like you were already here. Money was okay. Then once it's, you know, especially post 2008, after you had the housing market crash and all that, that's when people really started mixing and matching, and you started hearing different conversations. But I get what you're saying. I think it was just kind of like that. We were in a comfort zone.
And and I think, and I think I didn't say that correctly. It is like I think Nick or you, Ray, said it. The social aspect. That's what I mean. Is when niggas was quiet, because now you niggas keep talking. Niggas keep saying dumb shit.
As a fact. Ray brought up the recession, which brought me back to 2008, which brought me back to 2007. And if you wasn't aware, guy that was a vice president named Dick Cheney, he died this week. Kicked the bucket this week. What was it? Yesterday? Was it yesterday? Or day before yesterday?
It was Monday.
No, it was Tuesday. It was Tuesday. It was Tuesday. It was Tuesday, day before yesterday. Yeah. Dick Cheney died on Tuesday. And we are going to swing it over to our New York resident reporter for the Dick Cheney segment, because he has a lot of history with Dick Cheney. Bodega, how you feel about this news, man?
I'm gonna do a little bit of a curveball, honestly. For those in the audience who can hear this question and can, I want you to follow these instructions very clearly, without using Google or Chat GPT, because I know how you niggas love using that. Can you tell me what the project for the new American century is? I'm gonna pause here for a second, because if you can, kudos, but you probably can't. You probably cannot tell me about the project for the new American century. So we're gonna run through just like a couple little things that they stood for when they were around, and I want to see if any of them sound familiar to you. The project for a new American century was strongly behind American exceptionalism, right? So this means that the U.S. was a necessary an almighty power and should actively shape world order, right? They believed in preemptive action, which means that instead of waiting for threats to emerge, the moment a mouse wagged its tail somewhere, regardless if it was a threat or not, was not only our problem, but the world's problem. Military supremacy. This is like a really, really big one, right? Like the US must maintain an overwhelming military advantage and superiority over the rest of the world. Now, I have a list. I have a list of shit, right? Because I really prepared for the segment. But before we go any further, right? Like I'm gonna open this up to my fellow co-hosts. What do those three sound like to you so far?
Manifest destiny.
Manifest destiny. That's a good one. That's a good one. Anyone else?
I'm gonna sit this out. I'm gonna let y'all take it.
So number 4 on this list is the regime change as policy. Go ahead, Ray.
Reform Zionism is my answer.
Let me tell you, bro, my co-hosts, they be on some shit. Like, you know what I'm saying? We joke around a lot, but them niggas really be on some shit. So regime change is policy, which means authoritarianism, right? Or hostile regimes. Anything that's considered hostile to the United States must be impacted, must be bombed, must be gotten rid of, and we must install something that is American friendly, right? And so like I'm gonna stop there on that list, because you've had time to Google now. The project for the new American century is the think tank group behind the George Bush presidency of 2001 to 2008. And that's important because they were the ones that were calling for an invasion of Iraq, not the president of the United States.
Nope.
Right? They were the ones who were calling for the resuming of the Gulf War that Bush's daddy had intervened in. Right? They were the ones calling for that. The reason why that's important is because, like, I don't think, as the next set of elections come up and anything like that, I don't think most people are firmly aware of the president's having think tanks that really set their policies. I mean, we've seen this with Project 2025, and
The Heritage Foundation.
The Heritage Foundation is the same niggas who were behind Reagan's terms. If you need any like correlation, right? The Project for New Century America is just kind of like was a reformation of that, along with some other groups that are tied directly to the Project 2025 niggas. So the Iraqi war, right? Because you needed a reason to invade Iraq for the American public and for the Senate and the House. You needed to give the American people and Congress a reason to invade Iraq when this was written down on a piece of paper somewhere in 99 and 2000.
And real quick, you also needed a reason to not run the recount in Florida. Also needed a reason for that. And it's hard to change regimes in the middle of a war.
I think this, for me, ties more into when you look into stuff like this, because I did a little bit of reading, Bodega. So I was aware of the New American Century. Specifically, it was like, was it PNAC? Because I forgot what the P
it's PNAC
stood for.
It's Project
PNAC,
for
but
the New American Century.
Yeah. Okay. So when you read back on it, to Nick's point really quick, the recount, they use the smart bush. And if you don't understand what that means, you probably caught up in the system. The main two bushes weren't even involved in this whole history piece. When you know some of the parties involved, they used the smart bush that they tried to get to run, but he have some like type of cheating scandal alleged or whatever happened that knocked him out the presidential race. That's when people still looked at Florida like crazy ass Florida. That was back in the day, right? But understanding how we end up with something like this, the idea of American Century, man, this was coined way back in like 41, specifically by a dude named Henry Luce, right? He was a publisher. And when I list what he was the publisher of, it directly ties into what this is for the international goal that this plan has. He was known as a publisher for Time, Life Magazine, Fortune Magazine, and Sports Illustrated. That's all of them. That's across the board. You touched every single base. He has the person that coined this entire thing had a direct hand somewhere in something that touched a market near you. So this has been going on for a decent amount of time. By the time it lands in somebody like Dick Cheney's hand, you got Donald Rumsfeld. Donald Rumsfeld was one of those quiet legends that they kind of keep under wraps. They don't speak too much about. But Donald Rumsfeld was a notorious name up and down. So between him, Dick Cheney, and Jeb Bush, you even had what was it, the Secretary of Defense and Deputy Secretary of Defense.
Yeah.
And Deputy Secretary of Defense, right?
Paul Wolfowitz was the Deputy Secretary of Defense on this administration, who was a primary member of the PNAC group. But we'll get to that in a second.
Yeah.
After you get his hand involved in that, they tried to really start upping the ideology when the Soviet Union fell. I'm only giving more of a history lesson just for the understanding of some of the stuff. If you take a breath and sit down just for a little bit, is to give yourself some air, to not put pressure on yourself with the cramming of knowledge and thinking that this is your fault. Some of these things have been in play for a little bit of time. So you have to study how the chessboard is set up before you can even put the pieces there. And I say that to say, because sometimes you're having conversations with people that look like they're on that side, but they are also unaware as well. And there's nothing wrong with that, right? Because to what Bodega is saying and what the most recent effects are for what even you're saying, Nick, is like, you need somebody to be more like Ev and just say, all right, no, let me just listen right quick, because this has been going on for almost a century. This is right before World War II ends. We have the falls of powers happening during that time frame, which opens the door to this specific ideology, right? You just take out Hitler. You go through the Cold War, the communism, you see a flaw in communism, and everybody is flocking to this while political movements are happening on the domestic front. So breathe, because if Bodega and I really start getting there, I don't think we have the time, let alone you having the time. But it's a lot of information, and specifically they use it through writings. So the writings that you do read, which is why they start to take away some of your visions for all the other types of books, whether they call it critical race theory, whether they say it's about sensitivity, where all the words that they're using to remove those books that don't have these direct ties. Again, Life magazine, Sports Illustrated, Time. Those were the publications from the person that coined this. They have, I don't want to say a narrative. They have a blueprint,
a goal. They have a goal.
They have a blueprint and a goal. An American exceptionalism.
I don't want to interrupt the history or the teaching segment, but
Nah, just say it. Like American exceptionalism has been the number one goal since at least World War II, and it goes back before that. But like, you know, you got to get into the presidencies that like ruined modern America to really get into it, and we can do that. Woodrow Wilson, we're looking at your bitch ass, especially. Oh, you fucked us. But anyway, so why PNAC really existed, right? And why like American exceptionalism and the expansion of military and all these things were firmly important to white Christian Americans, you know, to protect that Christian nationalism, was because the fall of the Soviet Union. Would you say, Ray?
Zionism's little brother.
Oh yeah, Zionism's little brother. Right. You know what I'm saying? Israel is really the test bed for like all of this shit, but like that's a different conversation, right? But the fall of the Soviet Union left America with no enemy, which means that there was no reason to spend on the American military machine, right? Defense contracts were cut. You know, the Super F-14 program was cut. I'm a aviation buff for myself, so you know I like this shit, right? So like all of these programs and military spending and defense contracts were cut, and what you need to understand is that defense contracts fund not only war, right, but they fund technological advancements in society. Right. So like now there's nothing to fund. There's nothing to push. We released the F-22 Raptor in the mid-90s, and there's nothing to fucking fight it. The most advanced jet you have ever seen, or that has been declassified for the most part, that you've ever seen, was funded by American exceptionalism and the Cold War agenda, right? Getting to the moon is how, you know, funded by the Cold War. Nobody gave a fuck about the actual moon. It was that, you know, somebody else was trying to get there and we need the flex, right? There's even a program that very few Americans know about, the Hadron Collider, right? There was going to be another one in that broke ground in Texas in the 80s that was going to be the largest in the world, primarily behind the back of nuclear funding from the Reagan era. That when then, you know, after decades of pauses and shit like that, when the Soviet Union collapsed, there was no longer a need to fund it, right? So scientists as well, niggas who study their whole lives, really get their shit off when it comes to defensive contracts, because it's the only thing that makes money. Now there's no power to project. There's no, you know. Go ahead,
as
bro.
soon as the Soviet Union fell, even though the operation had already started, Desert Storm picked right up. As soon as
You
the
need a
Soviet
war.
Union fell, you drop an enemy. Desert Storm really heavily kicked into gear. Now Desert Storm started in the top of the year of 1991. The Soviet Union fell in December. But what Desert Storm turns into is now you get this focus towards Iraq. So even during that time frame, Bill Clinton was receiving letters of them trying to convince him to go at Iraq. And essentially those letters ended up foreshadowing what happened for us going over there in 2003.
Mhm.
So there's going to be piece by piece as it goes along. So this idea of what is essentially a 1, 2, maybe 3-headed monster. You got Christian nationalism, you got Western civilization, or the expansion of capitalism. I feel like there's probably a third one here, and I'm sure one of y'all will fill in the blank there if there's more. Right?
Israel.
Israel's always a piece.
Sure.
It is.
It is. Yeah. Yeah.
Because we
least
also gotta look at the fact of like the entire Middle East conflict that's taking place right now is not taking place because America actually believes that the government United Nations borders of Israel is the biblical land of Israel. It's because Israel is the only extension
August
of the
2nd
West.
of 1492, they made a rule that certain people could not be in Spain anymore.
Listen,
And then they ended up fast forward,
listen.
if we want to joke around, we also wouldn't be in this
We just
position
gotta
either.
make that
If Japan,
clear.
if you didn't attack Hawaii, Japan, if you didn't attack Hawaii, we may not be in any part of this conversation.
It's
But
funny
oddly enough,
because
in 42, we started putting our business everywhere else. If you just would have left Hawaii alone, I don't even know if I know Nick,
they
Bodega,
couldn't
or Ev.
they couldn't do it, bro. They couldn't do it. But it's funny because like PNAC also in their direct words, and mind you, you can look like literally Google and like you'll get a 400-page document of PNAC's PNAC's agenda. But one of the things that they specifically called out for was a new Pearl Harbor. They needed a new Pearl Harbor to justify invasion in Iraq. Now, however you want to put those pieces together, brother, I'm not gonna say, I'm not, you know what I'm saying? Like I'm not into that business per se, but like however you want to put those pieces together, by all means. But like going back to Dick Cheney in particular, right? These members of PNAC and how they, you know, directly result in the U.S. presidency. Let's just go down the list. Dick Cheney was the vice president. He was the CEO of a defense contractor before he became vice president, and he was one of the key members in the PNAC group. Now, come on now. But
now
that, like, why?
Let's give context to that. He's head of a company that goes and cleans up the mess after the war. And he sat on this company as vice president, which is probably against the law. I'm sure that's against the law. But he sits on the board of the same company, starts a war, and then collects the profit on the back end from said company that goes and cleans up the war that he started.
Those stocks go brrr. That, like, I don't know what to tell you. Donald Rumsfeld, Secretary of Defense, Paul Wolfowitz, Deputy Secretary of Defense, Elliot Abrams, the National Security Council over the Middle East, John Bolton, the Undersecretary of the State, UN, he was the UN ambassador, right? Richard Pearl, he was the Defense Policy Board. Louis Libby, he was Cheney's chief of staff. Zelmi Kahazard, I'm pronouncing that nigga's name wrong. He was the ambassador to Afghanistan, Iraq, and the UN. These are all niggas who were directly part of the policy of the new American century. these are all Bush's cabinet members.
And if we want to keep it super clean, when you look at Project 2025 and you look at the authors of some of those sections, and then you look at the cabinet of Donald Trump, you're going to see some of the same names.
Your president
as Ray pointed out, these things have been in play for a while. And as you all know, nothing is new under the sun. Nothing is new under the sun. So,
bro, we can keep it all the way to all the way being George Bush was not the president of the United States. George W. Bush was not the president of the United States. George W. Let me repeat that for you one more time. George W. Bush was not the president of the United States. He was not the leader of the free world. He was not. George W. Bush, just like Donald J. Trump and just like Ronald Reagan before both of them, were pretty faces. Donald Trump, you know what I'm saying? But like pretty faces, well-known from well-known places that could sell the vote.
Yep.
These niggas are here to sell the vote. And whatever think tank is in motion at that particular time is there to actually enact the policies that you directly voted for. Like this, like this is what I'm saying. Like you really got to do the knowledge, do the math. The niggas that you vote for are not even the niggas that you vote for. Dick Cheney was fat and ugly and had 50 heart attacks. Nobody was voting for him, right? He had the same issue that Bernie also had, right? Mm-hmm. That they weren't physically attractive enough to win the presidency on their own.
So they went and found the good-looking model, stand up there, wave your hands, smile, and we're going to do all the work while you sit in the office and make the speeches. Presidents don't even make their own speeches.
Bro, and the crazy, and I like if you're listening to this, bro, I don't really know what to tell you, because like this is tip of the iceberg shit. This not like you know what I'm saying? Keep it clean. Like, you know what I'm saying? You want to go all deep into conspiracy theories and all that other type of shit. This is tip of the iceberg. This is you can Google and will receive official reports and resources from your Google search. Like, this not even like, this isn't groundbreaking news. This isn't any of that, right? So like, anytime you vote for a president, you are voting for the think tank that's behind them. And the people that are chosen for those think tanks, a bunch of no-name people to you, are heavily politically influential, and they directly write the policy.
This is why you have people, and we'll wrap up after this piece. This is why you have politicians that see a genocide taking place in Gaza and will not say it for nothing in the world, will not put a line between themselves and the government of Israel, because if you look into who funds them, it's generally AIPAC. And look into...
If you knew who got here after they left Europe in 1492.
Oh yeah, man. So yeah, man. That's okay. That's that. Dick Cheney.
My bad, bro. My bad, bro. Let me interrupt you real quick. I just want you to know that the United States cannot get off what Israel can get off yet. Yet is the key fucking word. Yet is such a key word, right? Because the United States is supposed to be the beacon of hope and the beacon of truth and the beacon of light and the beacon of the progressive world, right? You can't act like the communists that you spent so much time fighting and beefing over with China, because China is well known for their mass extinction events. You know what I'm saying? For lack of a better term, their mass extinction events. If you look up the Muslims in northern China, let me tell you that they're in concentration camps similar to that other group of people who are yelling and screaming across the pond, that they're being attacked, them Israeli niggas. If you want to understand, just grand scheme, Israel is a test bed. It's a test bed. ICE is a test bed. Drawing up the National Guard, because the National Guard is only technically part of the United States Army during the time of war. So I'm not going to call anything a war because that requires congressional approval. So like it's a conflict, it's a, you know, what's the name, whatever the case, but then I get the governors of each state on my side and then weaponize their National Guard along with ICE, who cannot or who willingly don't identify themselves. So you don't know who they are, what they are, why they are, right? Right. I want you to know that even though these federally employed people are not getting paid, they haven't lost any funding. And part of that big, beautiful bill is, you know, increasing ICE's funding, right? Like, and you don't need the military to do anything if you can just fund a bunch of paramilitary groups directly from the government.
Yep. So take all of that into consideration. Do your Googles. I wouldn't recommend using ChatGPT. They might kick you off the app if you start typing in some of this stuff. I'm just being honest with you. But yeah, Dick Cheney is dead. It's over. He's out of here. May no more of his friends be shot in the face. And with that, since we're doing this select, last year, go ahead.
This is why you have a great group of friends. If you all notice, I didn't say a fucking word. You know why? Because I didn't know none of this. And there's nothing wrong with admitting that you don't know. That was my keep it clean last week or the week before. I did not know none of this. Thank y'all.
Your current,
no problem, gang.
We go into you want me to go ahead.
I'm about to.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Okay, I got you. Allegedly, your current vice president is courting his next wife. And in results of us seeing that live in real time, right? Because we've been seeing that live in real time, this past week was very important. So I want to start off with how proud I am of the turnout that I've been seeing throughout social medias across the board for the voting that came on recently. I saw a lot of people out there early voting. I saw a lot of people out there on November 4th. So I'm whatever you did in there, I'm proud of the turnout that we've seen, because clearly it shows that people are aware of what's going on. So across the nation, the 2025 elections, that gave us a clear snapshot of where the country's political pulse is heading. So Democrats made modest but meaningful gains, flipping a U.S. House seat and breaking GOP supermajorities in 2 state legislatures, a signal that was voters wanted more balance in state politics. So the biggest headlines is coming from Virginia and New Jersey, where Democrats held their ground in key gubernatorial races. I made sure to say that word because I had to pronounce it a couple times in the mirror, right? Yeah. Where the Democrats held their ground in key gubernatorial races, and from California, where voters passed Proposition 50, which is something we're going to touch on. We have a redistricting reform, and that could reshape the political map for years to come. In New York City, Zohran Mamdani became the new mayor, marking another progressive win in a major metro. And then beyond party wins and losses, the 2025 cycle showed a growing appetite for election reform. More cities experimented with ranked choice voting, expanding the conversation around how Americans choose their leaders, right? Mm-hmm. So turnout held strong, particularly among younger and urban voters, which is super important. It is good to see that the youth is actually touching bases. Even for us, we're getting to that age where we start looking at the youth. We always pass it down. And it's always the old heads, where's the youth at? Where the youth are showing that they're here during the off years, right? So the results also came with caution flags too, right? And we're going to touch on those as well. We had certain redistricting battles that are heating up nationwide, and then there's new challenges expected in Texas, of course, and other fast-growing states. And so while Democrats celebrated gains, Republicans still also held certain structural advantages in many regions. So overall, we're about to get into some more detail.
Yeah, I just want to do some quick highlights. In my state, in Georgia, we flipped 2 of the Public Service Commission seats to Democrat, first time in 25 years. Why that's important is because the PSC is responsible, along with telecommunications, a few other things, power bill. They are directly influential in the pricing of our power bills. And we saw very recently that power bills were going up a lot. And around election time, there was a video going around about why it's important to come out for this election specifically, because it has the direct effect on cost of living. So it can help you with your cost of living. It can lower your cost of living. And we saw people go out and flip 2 of those seats. Hopefully that leads to some lower power costs. We gonna be hopeful for that. Also, Detroit elected their first Black woman mayor. Can I get her name again? I just blanked on her name.
Mary Sheffield.
Mary Sheffield. Thank you, brother. Mary Sheffield. So salute to you. Shout out to you. Shout out to Detroit and all those people pulling up to do that. And yeah, you said Mamdani won New York. Mamdani took the fucking top off that bitch in New York. Dog, the nigga walked out. Let me not wild out. Mamdani walked out to the New York instrumental, and I just gotta ask Bodega, how do you feel about that as a New Yorker?
What you mean, brother? Like, you know what I'm saying? You see the vibes. The new Islamic Republic of York City, my nigga. Listen, when I get back, I need to call to prayer on every intercom 5 times a day, nigga. And you know what? You know the real funny shit is like, you know, between this Battlefield 6 shit and the New York mayoral electoral race, you niggas are gonna joke yourselves into being Muslims. I just want y'all to know that, right? Listen, the Quran is very specific about how you know when you receive the truth, as it's noted, right? When you receive the truth and how you receive it will come in many forms, and you will not be able to deny it once it has been shown to you. So, you know, keep making your Bismillah, your Alhamdulillah, your Subhanallah, you know, your Inshallah jokes. Listen, bro, it's a prayer rug right down the street. The halal market, let me tell you, bro, beef bacon will change your life. You know, I can speak.
I need to try.
You know what I'm saying? Free market. Nico can tell you. He can tell you right now. He can tell you right now.
When you walk,
beef bacon will change your life. I'm just saying.
If you are in the New York City tri-state area, I want you to listen to me and listen to me very carefully. If you are by a convenience store, I want you to walk into the store, put your hand in the register. Their money is your money today. Okay.
If they serving pork, money is your money.
I want you to go into the nearest bodega you can find. Not my brother sitting right here. Don't hit his line. Don't hit his line.
Man. As a resident New York brother, you weren't gonna say nothing.
Y'all didn't even let me.
Bro, listen. I support my
don't hit his
money
line
today.
Go to the store, walk in there, and tell him, Poppy, I need a bacon, egg, and cheese, beef bacon. We don't do that pork shit. And I want you to say it just like that. We don't do that pork shit. He gonna understand what you're talking about. He gonna whip you up the greatest bacon, egg, and cheese you've ever had. It don't matter what borough you in. I'm just telling you this.
It don't matter what borough. Is that true, Bodega?
Don't matter.
Rank the boroughs.
I mean, just
don't rank the boroughs. Which one?
I mean, it's Brooklyn. What you mean? Brooklyn,
Bronx,
right?
Bronx.
Nigga, what?
The home of hip hop, nigga.
Brooklyn, Manhattan, Bronx, Queens, and fucking Staten Island. That's really New Jersey. Staten Island is really New Jersey. Get that shit the fuck out of here. That should be on a ballot somewhere. Get Staten Island the fuck out of here. Should be on a ballot. But like, that's not important. What is important though? What is important? Getting back to the serious topics. Democrats across the country have made some strides.
Mm-hmm.
Niggas are participating in more localized elections.
Yes, sir.
Right. And this is really how you start. Like, this is really how you start that change. Is like you participate in these local elections. Michigan just got something crazy off. They passed a bipartisan bill in Michigan to partially fund SNAP benefits, regardless of what the government does.
Shout out to Michigan, man. Shout out to y'all. Shout out to y'all.
Mississippi, the state of Mississippi, flipped its Senate blue.
Yep.
One of the most conservative,
racist,
white majority racist states in the country flipped their Senate blue.
Shout out to all my folks in Mississippi. Shout out to all of y'all. All of y'all.
Yeah, man. This is what Bodega is saying about this being the catalyst, like the first part of the change, is very factual and accurate. Like, we always talk about, you know, presidential elections come around every 4 years. Everybody always says it don't matter who in office, don't whoop, this don't change, that don't change. And we've been on this platform saying the local elections is where you're going to see the biggest shift in your day-to-day. This is where you are voting for your sheriffs. This is where you're voting for certain judges that are on the bench. This is where all of the inner workings of your day-to-day in your city and your county, these elections are where those things get put together and figured out. So the fact that we have the turnout that we're having right now, I don't want to get too hyped and be like, job done, because we got midterms next year. 2026 midterms is, we're gonna need y'all to pop right back out. And we've been doing good on midterms, like as of late. With the last midterms, we had Georgia flip blue. So when we get back to it this time, we got the governors up in 2026. We got to get right back out here, make this same push again, and flip this again, get the momentum going, keep it going. So when they pull whatever they trying to pull in 2028, we already own the ball and get into it rather than reacting to whatever they got going on.
And that doesn't necessarily mean that we're Democrats. I want people to be very aware of that. Like, this doesn't necessarily mean that we are Democrats, right?
No,
because
not at all.
Democrats want to just get their money and exploit you through capitalism, through polite capitalism, pretty much. Which again doesn't help the black community in any shape or form or whatever the case. They just talk nice. But in comparison to the shit that's going on now, I'll take it.
Yeah, I do want to draw that line in the sand of, we are not Democrats. We are of the left, but we are not Democrats. The Democrats is just the only option that we have at this present moment in this binary either or political system that we have set up, because third party candidates are not taken seriously at the moment. So yes, this is not a Democrat endorsement. This is an endorsement of anti-Donald Trump, anti-conservatism, anti-far right Christian nationalism, and authoritarianism, just to be clear and keep it clean. But you had Ray, you had a question for Ev. I ain't want to step on you.
Oh no, I was saying, like, what happened? Any updates around your area?
Brother, I'm gonna be transparent with you. I personally have no updates. That's
okay.
Personally don't have any information. That's
okay,
that's just
man.
that's on my ignorance. That's on
good.
my ignorance.
Man, that's all right. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna just give a little bit as far as what happened in Texas, and then just kind of give us a foreshadowing just for the people listening, as well as what you might be preparing for in 2026, just overall too, man. So out here, at least for me personally, one of the propositions that did pass, and I'm not fully aware of all of Texas history. I'm okay with some of the things that were suggested. I'm not okay with the fact that everything passed, because it's like everyone went in and filled in C on the Scantron. And the reason why I say that is because they worded certain things in a way that if you didn't read ahead of time, or if you didn't just like get a little bit of time to kind of look at it, the jargon they use was very aloof and could kind of set you up to think it's saying something that it may not. So to have every single one pass, because a lot of them were written very well. A lot of them were great ideas, but a lot of them were written very well to where it's just like, yeah, that makes sense. And then you just naturally go for it, right? You know, but I did like the part, especially for the elderly, dialing back on school district property taxes and raising the homestead exemption. So that went up from 100K to 140K. So specifically for those, you know, those relying on retirement and disability at that age, you're supposed to be retired, but you have to keep paying money because things like school taxes within your local area keeps eating away at your check. I thought that was amazing. They gave me a pseudo, what is this really, with the parents make the decisions for, you know, our parents are the primary decision makers for their kids. I see what you said.
Yeah.
I didn't see what you mean.
Right.
And that was one of those where it's like, all right, you know, and then we also out here push past got the legislator to provide an exemption or of valorum taxation for real property in like border counties that improve the border security infrastructure. That was one of those that was a hot topic here of like, what you know, you getting the pass to live down there, and then we also know what's going on in that current situation. So what's the grand scheme? What's the play? Cool. But overall, all 17 went through. I think when you and I went back and forth on Nick, I asked my brother here, especially since we had the prison reform conversation going on. Bodega, you're here. You could chime in on it because I talked to Ev about it. Proposition 3 was putting it out there where they were suggesting no bail specifically for felonies, capital murder. You don't get bail if you're charged with capital murder. And then the second one, they just said repeat felonies, like you've been charged as a repeat offender potentially, or you've had repeat felonies. So when this time came up, you shouldn't get bail. Capital murder, I understood. What the felonies were, I didn't like how they just left that vague, but that's how they wrote it. But the concept itself on should there be bail, should there not be bail, that might be something we all circle back to just in the general conversation. But fast forward, overall for everybody, what we're prepping to get ready for 2026 is going to be the midterm elections, right? On the national landscape, it's going to be the midterm elections. It's going to happen Tuesday, November 3rd, 2026. So we got just a couple days less than a year at this point. So there's going to be all 435 seats of the U.S. House of Representatives and 33 to 35 seats of the Senate that's going to be available. This is the time to start prepping.
Yep.
This is the time to start prepping. If you need guidance on it, we are not political advisors here. We'll try to guide you to motivating yourselves to get outside, to go touch grass. That's the guidance that we provide, right? But if you need motivation to get outside and touch grass, call us, please. Y'all find us on Instagram and TikTok for all the other shenanigans. Call us.
And if you need some information, some information too, like hit our line. Like I'm for that. Like if you need information, like, hey, I'm just trying to figure out this, that, and the third. It ain't nothing but a quick Google search for all of us. If you lost on where to Google, I'll Google for you, type shit, and then we can get the party started that way. But yeah, for sure. Yeah,
the House and Senate races are going to be major pieces, and as we're going to see the effects of the gerrymandering. The Texas and California war has gotten started. We're going to see other states end up following suits, and that's going to be important going into the Senate and congressional elections. We have to pay attention to external events when we're talking about economic shock. We're talking about potential war, and we're talking about still being on the verge of pandemics. All of this is going to be at play going into 2026. No matter what you feel about it, the Ukraine-Russia war is still going on. The Israel and Palestine thing is still going on. They're still playing out as we speak. And those people that are in those seats to speak specifically on that, they're going to be up this time next year. Just go outside, touch grass, prep for 2026.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And real quick before we get out of here, shout out to Colorado for passing that legislation to tax the wealthy more and use that funding for the public good and public safety, public health. We appreciate y'all. That is what we need to be doing in the first place. For all these folks that's out there talking about, oh, y'all want to make sure people got health care, where they gonna get the money from? It's a whole lot of money sitting in them tax loopholes that y'all keep letting these rich folks get off. So that's my piece on that. I don't want to get into a policy debate, but that's just my piece on that. The money is right there. It's right there. That echelon of people that Bodega was talking about that have a certain amount of bread, 300K, 400K, all of that, it's with them. It's with them. The people that's not paying the full percentage of what they get paid on their Social Security, it's with them. The money is with them. Follow the money, get the extra money, redistribute it back to us, the people, so that we can have a better situation, social dynamic, relationship, and harmony amongst us. Everybody outside fighting, hungry, and mad right now, and this ain't good for nobody. This ain't good for nobody. Let's get back to what Ed was talking about when we could just all kick it. Everybody was just chilling. You know what I'm saying? But we gonna talk about the real shit, but let's just keep it respectful. You feel me? But yeah, man. That's it. That's all we got for today, brother.
I do have a question before we get out of here, though. This is supposed to go to the boys. I was asked this by a particular party, right? We're men here. I thought this was the most insane thing that was ever said to me, but apparently, after following up with the ladies, some of them seem to think this. When you dap up, or say you give your homie, your parents, whatever, you give another man a hug, do your hips touch?
No, Ray.
Okay. All right.
Do a nigga's hips touch?
Do your hips touch?
I don't even think of shit like that.
I don't like. No, I don't like. It's not a. If they do, it's not an issue.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So like, I'm a heavier set guy, right? So like my stomach sticks out a little bit. So like if anything is interacting after the dap, like if it's a dap into the hug, or it's like you know what I'm saying, my nigga, it's probably gonna be my stomach that like touches first, but like it's definitely not gonna be no fucking hips. Like how you even get there? Like how you get? Like how did you get there?
I think I think in most daps, it's like you're not giving your mans the hug most of the time. Like it's usually a boom. So in that case, the arm is gonna kind of shield the hips from interacting. But why is this even a question on somebody's mind? Is what I'm trying to figure out.
The women were assuming that that's what happened. I can't. I genuinely don't remember how we landed.
Let me do this.
Are women not dapping up?
No, they're not.
Oh hell no,
they're not.
But let me do this though.
Against one another, huh?
Let me do this though, real quick. Women. To the
he said that like it was a newfound thing. He said, "Oh,
I just calculated. I did the math. It's that's what's happening. You know what I'm saying?
But to the women out there, just real quick, reporting from Man World here. We don't give a fuck about our hips touching during daps. That's just not something that's on our minds. It's not a part of our daily.
We're not thinking of it.
Oh, okay. Thank you for the clarity, Ed, because I was like, I don't know. Don't.
I'll put it this way. No. I'll put it this way. I hold on, because I know where Ray kind of getting with it. First off, the way men hug women is not the same way men hug other men. So if women are even having that hug, like.
Listen,
if
man.
you've been having this hip thing, like Nick said, we do the dap into the hug.
Even
like,
still, listen,
it's
bro,
all upper body for real.
If you hug your man's and y'all's hips touch,
you know what I just thought about. Hold on, bro. You know what I just thought about. You know what I just thought about. I see. I think I know why this is a question. You know when you get that hug from You know how like shorties, how they deviate their hugs, right? Like if you really, you know what I'm saying, they really close to you or whatever case, they're gonna fully embrace you, right? Like, you know what I'm saying, whatever. But when you might be cool, but they're not quite sure, they do that upper hug where they deliberately, like, create that V between y'all hips. maybe that's why. Maybe that's why they're asking that question.
And this is what I want to get to with that. If you hug your man's and y'all's hips touch, that is okay. I want to make this statement, and I want to make this very clear for all the homies out there that's listening that might, because that's making the face that Ray's making right now. The only way that you are gay is if you like men.
Hey, and even on top of that, right? It's okay if y'all. At least I'm gonna say it. It's okay if you fully embrace your man's for the hug. Like me. I hug, like I fully embrace my dad. Like, and if you did that with your best fucking friend because that's the relationship y'all got, hey,
listen, man, I hug Bodega every time I see him.
You know what I'm saying?
You know what I'm saying? And our stomachs touch. Am I supposed to feel weird now?
Only if y'all shirts off.
Our shirts would never be off. That would never be the situation.
Why would
never be the
our
situation.
shirts be off, brother?
I hear what these brothers are saying. If your hips ever touch mine, Ray has a problem. It has nothing to do with my comfortability. There's no reason that pelvis to pelvis should be in contact. There's no possible reason why your hips should be touching my hips, though. I'm sorry. Nah, I feel move. What you mean, bro? Your hips should not be that close to where how tight. What kind of hugs are we giving for your hips to be touching?
Too. Like,
what you mean? What kind of hug was given for your hips to be in contact?
Because that's why that's an entire question.
Bodega walk down the path. I want you to explain this hug where your hips are in contact.
It's like, bro, the side of my hip can be in contact. Like we could, like, the side of my hip can touch the side of your hip.
What part of the hip?
Right here.
I hate that we're evolving down such
like,
a topic.
We just had such a great show of political engagement and information, and now we talking about niggas hips touching. What are we doing right now?
He always got to take it there, don't he?
What we doing?
Had to. I guess after last week,
it was too much serious. Yeah, he had to go.
Shout out to the hearing impaired community. Y'all stuck up for me. I appreciate y'all because hearing is very important. And just making sure, you know what I'm saying? So we still 7 days into the 30-day trial, right? And you gotta try different spaces
here, man.
Different acoustics. I might have been wearing the helmet for all you know, so it kind of blocked the waves, the sound waves, the reverberation.
The fucking podcast off immediately.
I never want this visual that you are starting to create in my head. So
put the helmet away. I don't even want to see the helmet no more.
So look, this has been another.
We know what you do in your spare time.
Right?
Nah, bro.
It sound a little
that nigga got the helmet. He got the helmet on. He for sure got the helmet on.
We gonna get up out of here. We gonna get up out of here.
Sure.
Listen,
he one of them niggas that's cosplaying through it.
Yeah.
Listen, family.
You morphing all right.
I didn't hear.
All right. No. We are.
You know that talking going all right, my nigga. You do like
Hey, that's fucking nuts.
He said you're morphing all right. Listen, we are going to get up out of here. This is
that Dragon Dagger. I feel you. I see you. Yeah.
Dragon Dagger is I
see you.
We gonna get up out of here, man. This has been another great episode of the Keep It Clean podcast. Episodes dropping every single Tuesday. If you are on the YouTube, like, comment, and subscribe. Check out the sports show. Check out the one-offs at Keep It Clean, at the Keep It Clean Show on the Instagram and the TikTok. Keep it a buck, keep it a bean, keep it clean. Get your ass out there and vote. Get informed. Stay informed. We out of here.